Hey everyone, Dana Williamson here with Bad FBI, the original Bad Queen of the Round Table, blessed, anointed, destined, Faith Group Investigations International Ministries. Hi. Listen, I won't be before you long, and I'll say this for two reasons. One, I tried to record this already, and I realized I talk too much. For IG, it can only be under a certain amount of time, so I gotta learn how not to talk so much, right? Right. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the spirit of offense. Really quickly, I was at an event today, actually two events today, but the one that was most pertinent why I have this topic for all of you is the fact that when we talk about business, the event I was at was for Startup Milwaukee, and when we talk about business, we're talking about being business owners and being inclusive. There's a hard part in that. I so get it. I totally understand. There is a hard part in being inclusive, but the topic was capitalizing on culture, basically. And no, it was capitalizing on culture. No, basically, it's capitalizing on culture. The subtitle or the premise on that was basically talking about, including culture in your business, in your advertising, in your marketing or whatever without losing your base. And one of the things that I know that kind of hit home for me as I knew that I was going to stay for this second half of this great day for Startup MKE was, I know for me, I get tired of being the black girl in the room and, hey, what do you think about African American this? Or what do you think about, being in the hood that? Or what do you think about Hood Chronicles this or whatever? Those kind of things I get pissed off about. Just because I'm black doesn't mean I want to talk about whatever kind of problems are happening in the African American community or whatever is happening in the hood. Sorry, I'm just not there. And the reason why is because I guess it comes down to my upbringing, how I was raised, or the fact that when I look at people, see people who hate on other, let me just say this now. People who hate on other people of different races and nationalities, they're the ones who see color in everything. Those people like me who probably don't hate on all races, cultures, and nationalities don't see color. Okay? My next husband may not look like me. Sorry, he just may not. But then again, he might. So what if he does or if he doesn't? We as Christians, because I am a faith-based individual, we talk about loving on everyone, regardless of whatever, right? Right. So I only got 7 minutes here, so let me get this out. That kind of stuff, that example there, that is what offends me. But what was this whole topic was about, capitalizing on culture. Some of the scenarios that they gave us showed two specific commercials that I had not seen. And I say that because I don't watch television. And two, some things that everybody else argues about is not my argument. Like my apostle friend in the Bronx says, not my monkey, not my zoo, right? Okay. So my concern for all of us, women of faith, business owners, men, all of us, is that we have a problem separating, oh no, that's not the word I want to use. We have a problem proving we can do this, that we push everybody else away. And by pushing everybody else away, we lose out on who could be our connections. We lose out on who could be our sister, who could be our brother, who could help build us, who could help motivate us. You know what? I sat down and had coffee with a gentleman last week. He doesn't look like me. He's been my friend for a long time. And you know what? He gave it to me straight. Not a hood guy, but he gave it to me straight, and I was glad of that. I used to work for a gentleman, a COO of a company, great guy to work for, and you know what? He doesn't look like me, but guess what? He was my equal. Why or how was he my equal? Not in relationship wise, but as a person. If somebody had to use him as an example, I would say, yeah, that would be my perfect husband because he knows how to match me without running. And he knows how to bring me down for me being way out here. Okay. Now that I've said all of that, that is where that offense comes in at. My purpose for this is to say to you, you can be offended by everything that comes out on advertising, social media, marketing, all that kinds of stuff. You can be offended by it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you not to be offended. What I'm saying to you is that you can be offended and still live your life and either find a resolution for the offense, or you can stay stuck in your house and not be a victim of the offense, or be a victim of the offense. Because let me tell you something, there's some things that are going on around the world that are going to piss you off. They are totally going to piss you off. I am going to piss you off. My business is faith-based. I am not going to apologize for being a faith-based individual and all that the Bible tells me to do from Genesis to Revelation. I am not going to apologize for that. I am not going to apologize for how it makes you feel because of the things in the Bible and your way of life. I'm not going to apologize for that. What I will do is walk in love with you, because that's what the Bible tells me to do, regardless of what God says. And I'm not saying regardless, but God says this, and this about certain lifestyles, but he also tells us as saints to love on that person. Why? Because we can't reach that person if we're not loving on them. So yeah, I know there are some religious folks that are doing this whole thing wrong. I am not a religious folk. I know there are some pastors and there are some bishops and there are some popes and there are some everybody, okay, that are doing this thing wrong. I am not that person. So that's why I can boldly come in front of you and say, yeah, I'm not going to apologize for my faith-based business and what I know to do between Genesis and Revelation. That same way that you don't want me to apologize for the way you live. Or you don't want me to want you to apologize for the way that you live. Thank you so much. Here's the thing. When we're offended by every little thing that happens in life, catch that part. That shows who we are. That shows how little we are. If we can only talk about what offends us, how I feel, then we're not talking about how to change the problem. Because what's out there that offends you is actually a problem in the world that needs to be changed. I want to be able to say, let's change it, instead of let's talk about it. I want to be the one to say, okay, here's the problem. When we come together, we're coming together to form a solution, not to keep talking about it. There were some things that were bounced around in the events today, you know, when you come to the table, and I was so feeling like, yes, I like it when people say you come to the table, because then that's a confirmation for me of why Bad Queens of the Round Table is so what it is anyway. When you come to the table, when you come to the Bad Brand table, you're coming to get a solution. You're coming to provide a solution. You're coming to say, I have these gifts. This is what I want to share. You're coming with a resolve. You're not coming with a problem that can't be solved. And I think that's our problem, you know, especially, and I'm so glad you guys all tuned in for the briefing, and this is our episode 5. But I'm glad that you tuned in, because those of you that know that we come together and life brings us, and this is the point this is why I said catch that. Life is full of offenses. Life is full of problems. But at the end of the day, we have to say, am I ready to shut this down and come up with a solution to the problem? So one, I'm not offended, because if I'm offended, maybe there's 12 other people that are offended. But if we can come together with a solution to the problem, that change the spirit of offense. It changes the spirit of offense. I hope you guys caught what I was bringing down here in this 10 minutes, because I did, like I said, I found out I talk too much. But nonetheless, I want you to be comfortable. I want you to understand that even though I come like I come, or I say like I say, I still love you, and I want you to get out what you need to get out. Don't come angrily, because hey, one thing I know I'm not is I might be bold, but I am not that angry black woman.